to be a niyyah to see Allah, has to be a niyyah to see the Rasul, and to migrate to them in the next world, not in this world, next world, as it comes. But it needs specific types of acts. And that's why Allah Ta'ala, we note in the verse, whoever intends the hereafter, وَسَعَى لَهَا, and strives for it. Because the nature of the hereafter, it goes against your innate constitution, your base reality. Deen is difficult. There's not a single act in the deen that can case with your nafs, not one. And if there's something in deen that can case with your nafs, beware, it's a trick. And the nafs is tricking you to believe that I'm okay with this act. The nafs does not agree with any single thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded. And nafs al-ammara bisu, as in Surah Al-Yusuf, la ubarri'u nafsi inna nafs al-ammara bisu. I don't consider myself to be holier than thou. Verily the nafs, the self, only commands to evil. Okay? Commands to everything contrary to the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the nature of the nafs. So therefore it needs effort. وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. Those who strive, have effort for our sake, we shall guide into our paths. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Ankabut. Okay? That's the second. Whoever intends the hereafter, and you intend something, strive for it. Ustuq ma'allah. Be sincere that you want that, maybe Allah ta'ala will allow you to acquire it. Then, what will you acquire? Sa'yaha. What sa'yaha? That you will acquire the right act. Because when we look at intention, the nature of intention, there is no such thing as a good intention, bad act. Can't have. You know, like you hear, which sounds, you hear it usually in Western society, and the road to hell is paved with good intentions. There's a type of validity to that type of statement. Okay? Because what does it mean is that some people, they do something bad and they say, well, I had a good intention behind it. No, you didn't. Because the nature of intention, as our ulama have defined it, intention in the heart is always concomitant with action. It simultaneously exists with the act in and of itself. And you can't have intention in the heart and no act upon the limbs. Cannot exist. And the definition of niyyah, of intention, قَصْدُ الشَّيْء مُقْتَرِنًا بِفِعْلِهِ. Okay, is to render something your objective whilst at the same time striving for it, acting concomitant with action always. And it's really important in deen, because some people, subhanallah, are gonna, it's in the heart, brother. Okay, and it's also on the limbs. And that's why Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, when he looked at the hadith, if we look back at the tradition, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, when we look at the tradition of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, don't forget that the first word was actions. Because we can look at primacy of intention, but forget that the first word he used sallallahu alaihi wasallam was actions are booked by intentions. And that's why Allah ta'ala sa'alaha sa'yaha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, and you strive for it in the correct way, in the way that is what? That is acceptable, then they're the ones, sa'yuhum mashkura, that their effort or their actions will be what? Will be received gratefully by the Lord, duly appreciated, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Likewise, another word Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala employs for what intention is here, ibtigha. The word ibtigha in the Arabic language here, that word, ibtigha. يعني Allah تعالى وَمَثَلُ الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ ابْتِغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ وَتَثْبِيتًا مِنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ. Those that spend their wealth intending to please God, Allah, and to strengthen their own souls. Intentions there. But Allah Ta'ala uses a different word for intention here, which is called ibtigha. Okay? Oh, yeah. Anyone have any questions? Yeah, inshallah, we're going to look at some hadith, which again will help us elucidate the theme of intention, inshallah ta'ala. Anyone have any questions at this point?
You said before about hijrah. What would be our intention or excuse for staying in this country?
Yeah, the fuqaha, there's differences of opinion, okay? And as a first, we have to, because it's usually a question none of us have really asked.